Well, I'm sure most of us have had moments where we feel like life can sometimes be a bit unfair. And those are the same sentiments my guest shares on this episode. Because picture this, you've grown up in a wealthy background and suddenly you are living in a slum, Mkuru Kwa Reuben, and you're wondering, how did we get here? My guest has experienced so many losses from father to mother to brother. And despite all that, she has managed to pick up her pieces and conquer the world. Here is the story of one Lorna Joyce. Let's get to it. Well, by now you've already caught the drift of how we do it right here on A Woman's Journal. We're going to start with a little game. Remember, these are cards that have random questions, which I give my guest the opportunity to ask me, and I also get the opportunity to ask her. But before we get into it, Lorna, please introduce yourself for the person who's seen you for the first time.
Okay. Thank you for having me here, Grace. I know we've planned this and it's finally happening.
They don't know. They don't know the story.
I'm also very proud of you for actually making this happen. The
Thank
podcast was a plan, a thought, and it's now in actuation.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So I guess I am Lorna Joyce. I am a lover of life. That's the bare minimum of what I'll start with.
I love it.
I am also the CEO and a co-founder of Binty pads, which is a sanitary pads company here in Kenya. Also passionate about giving people opportunities to thrive. Those are some of the values that I live by, that I want people to thrive. And if I have the opportunity, I'll give it to them. Wow. I am a mom.
Yeah.
To 3 beautiful cats.
Oh, I was just like, but I ain't seen proof. You're a mom.
Yes.
You're a cat mom.
I am a cat mom for life. I recently became a plant mom. Hey, fam, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. But all in all, I love sunsets. I love sunrises. I was a cabin crew for quite some time.
Wow.
10 plus years. And so sunsets and sunrises are the things that I've picked up from there that I really do enjoy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, overall, I think life has humbled me and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I didn't know you were a cabin crew at some point.
Yeah.
Now, when I gave her some of these cards, she was like, oh, nice. Oh, love this. I'll give you the opportunity to shine with the first question.
Here it is. What is something that makes 0 sense to you?
Something that makes 0 sense to me. My goodness. Okay, chemistry didn't make any sense to me back in school. Physics made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Math made a lot of sense. Biology made a lot of sense. But chemistry?
Yeah, you're not.
Other than balancing equations?
Being the mole concept for days.
No. We didn't have any chemistry with that subject. See what I did there? I think that's one thing that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But I think generally in life, I think one of the things that really doesn't make sense to me is how a man will come at you, pursuing you like no one's business, then just goes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you could have just left me.
Waste your energy.
Bana. Hey, but yeah.
Yeah.
Throwing shade indirectly.
That's a story for another. We hang it in somewhere.
Yeah. With coffee.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. Name one thing that you've been wanting to do, but you have been putting off.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Working on myself and my brand, which is something I have actively started since January. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wishing you all the best. That's all?
Yeah.
I feel like there could be something juicier. But over to you. We're going to do 2 questions.
There's many little things, but I think that's the overall, and that question has come in at the right time. I know my fitness journey is also something that I really put off for a while, and now I'm back on it.
Nice.
So it's small snippets of things that make this big thing, but really working on who Lorna is as a brand is something that I have wanted to do, and I wanted to separate Lorna as Lorna and Lorna as Binty
pads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Umesema gym nika feel triggered because nilisema nitaanza gym this year, but I guess we've gone so far. Let me just try 2026.
I will be that accountable partner.
Oh, did you go to the gym?
Yeah.
But in my defense, I walk with the Lord every day. That should count for something.
10 kilometers.
10 kilo at the bare the minimum. Okay, your turn. So we're going to do one more, then we're going to get into the discussion.
Okay, so I had some really good one, and it entails mostly what the condition of our country is right now.
You're going to put me on the spot.
Yeah, it's not bad, but if you were the president, I would narrow it down all the way to Kenya. What things would you change or do differently?
If I was the president, what would I do differently? As cliche as this is gonna sound, I think truly I would want to meet the needs of the people.
Yeah.
Just hear what they want different, because okay, I know politics and corruption, they kind of work together. If I'm gonna pocket whatever I'll pocket, at least let me make sure the roads are there, the health facilities are taken care of. I think I would genuinely want to meet the needs of the people, that they're happy, they're content. It's not even at Indo mnichague tena. Impact. What do I want to be remembered for? I want to be remembered as the president who listened to his people, or her people, sorry, not me misgendering myself. The president who listened to her people and did what the people wanted. Of course, with a bit of wisdom. I can't pressure everyone. I think I would want to be a selfless president as opposed to a selfish one.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think we have leaders who don't listen to their people.
Yeah.
And hence the reason why you make random weird plans. I'll tell you, even just as simple as you change the curriculum and have a bit of the students going to Google something. These kids are deep in the heart of Kajiado. Where are they getting internet and all of that from? So when will they ever catch up to that city young girl who has a laptop, who has an iPad, who has a phone?
Yeah.
So what was the mismatch there?
Yeah. I think something else I'd also want to do is to empower my people to know that they're enough, they're good enough. I don't know why we have raw materials, but we have to import some of these things.
True.
I would really want to empower my country to know that we can be the ones exporting, be it cotton, be it whatever. All the things we ship. I feel like raw materials are gotten here, taken out there, product is made, then it comes back here. I'd want to strongly empower my country to know that we can be the resourceful ones, that people come
and actually let the people do the manufacturing, not you with your many companies and want to get into the manufacturing space.
Another
Anyway,
moving on.
Long story short, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But now, girl, yours is a story of resilience, boldness, bravery. And the first time I came across you was on TikTok, where you post a video that I watched. I was like, I'm not crying. It's the onions of you went back to visit where you grew up, which is Mkuru Kwa Reuben.
Kwa Reuben,
I don't mean to throw shade, but my producer is called Reuben.
No relation.
Yeah, Mkuru Kwa Reuben. And I think when you were still a teenager, you really experienced a lot of losses.
Yeah.
Do you want to walk me through that?
Yeah. So I think that video, when I posted it, I'd taken it 1 year before.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd gone there to drop some of the pads that we sell in that area. And I told the person who was recording, hey, let's go and show you where I came from, because this is where I lived for the better part of my life. But I didn't grow up there. Like, I wasn't born in Mkuru. I found myself in Mkuru. I lived in a loving home with my mom and my dad and my younger brother. And we were actually very wealthy. And by my dad, the one who brought me up, is a Luo. My mom is Kikuyu. My actual dad, the one who I'd say is my real dad, is Israeli. But he passed on a long time ago. So I grew up knowing my Luo dad, and he was a policeman, and he was taken round in different parts of the country. And that's how I lived. And so my mom felt, okay, this is too much. I think we need to stabilize in terms of school. So let's settle in Nairobi. And so we came to Nairobi and started life there. And so life was good for me. And all the way up to Form 1, when I joined high school, my brother had been sick. He was my younger brother. And my dad used to stay in Mkuru at the moment. And he was coming to pay his hostel bill back in Nairobi. And he was attacked by thugs and he was killed.
Oh, no.
And so that was the beginning of everything for my life and for the shift, because that person was the breadwinner. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, so she didn't have a job, she didn't have anything. She was on taking care of my brother in hospital. And so, I think 2 weeks later, my brother now followed. And then now my mom at the time fell into depression. This was something I didn't know, because I remember she came for me in July from school. And I thought, okay, you've come to pick me up because my brother has passed on.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, it's your dad. And so I'm now recollecting that. And now, even before she came to school, I remember there was the Saturday newspaper. We used to get gazettes printed out and put up on a board for the students to read. And everyone in school had seen that obituary of my dad. I was in the dorm, so when I'm coming up, they quickly asked the TA for then, that the teacher who was on duty, to pull it down because that was my dad, and they had recognized my name and my dad's name.
Yeah.
And so I'm coming to class and everyone is acting weird, people are crying. That the next day, my mom came for me. So coloration of now the whole school knows.
You're the last one to know.
Yeah. My dad passed on, and so we go home. I think I don't understand exactly what is happening because I'm still young. We bury him. I come back to school. It's 2 weeks later. We close for the August holiday. I go home. My brother was sick. He was in the ICU. My mom just says, you can talk to him. He can hear you, but he can't respond. And I think that date was on a Thursday. And I think the words I told him was, it is well. I could see him and he was so feeble, and I was like, he's probably not going to make it. And I just told him, it's fine. If you go, it's fine. And that Friday, we were called and the news was, he's passed on. And I had gone to stay with my auntie because I think my mom was not really okay. And so she called and she said, Joyce, don't leave me. We are just the two of us.
Oh, no.
It broke me. I was in Form 1. It broke me so hard because by the time I was even going back to school, now in third term of that Form 1, I remember all that we had, we didn't have. From living in a 7-roomed house in Nakuru to we don't even know where we're going to live next. And my dad's money, everything was tied up in pension, and so it was starting to follow. The families are, everywhere. And I'm seeing my mom starting to struggle, and I can't understand what she's going through. And I don't know, at this point, she's actually getting into depression. So she gets into serious alcohol problem. She's drinking. She's so out of it. I'm lucky that I'm in a boarding school because that cushions me from the everyday seeing what she's going through. But when I close school and I come back home, I see what is happening to her, and I can't swallow it. I can't understand what's wrong with you. Why can't you be a mom? Why can't you go to work? Why can't you, get
it together?
Yeah. And I was actually the one who took care of her. I used to get her from those dens of places. I remember by the time I was joining Form 2, we didn't have a place to stay, and we went to stay at a children's home. Yeah. And in exchange, my mom used to work for the kids, and then we'd get accommodation. So this is where they'd give us food and accommodation. And unfortunately, she was too horrible in terms of how she was, losing it in terms of drinking, that we had to be told, hey, this is not a place you can stay anymore.
It's not working anymore.
Yes. And so since her sister used to live in Mkuru, it was like the only way to do this thing is go now Mkuru and stay with her. And so we moved to Mkuru Kwa Reuben from when I joined Form 2, and life life changed
Drastically.
Completely. It was changing, but that was where now I learned life is very different.
Yeah.
And living in the slum taught me one thing: I really have to get out of the slum. Yeah, there's no in between. I just had to get out. You have friends who you're sitting with right now. You're eating, you're laughing. Tomorrow you're burying them. Probably they were thieves. They went to steal, and
They were
they were shot. Or they're in drugs and deep in drugs, and tomorrow they passed on. And so I'm thinking I'm in Form 2. We don't have money at this point because now we are staying at my auntie's. She has her kids. We are staying in a one-roomed house. A batty nice house. And the bed is all of us sharing. And I remember there are times where we'd go even without food because everyone is trying to go and hustle to look for food. I think that life really shaped me because by the time now you're going back to school, you actually appreciate that plate of githeri that you find on a daily.
That you've been underestimating.
That porridge. I didn't have pocket money. There are times I used to go to school without, like I would stay home for a while before I even get shoes and fare to go back to school. And in school, I realized, okay, at this point, I'm not going to wallow in, because my mom is not going to get that money now. So what do I have in terms of a skill that I can grow? So I was doing home science at the point. Form 2, picked it up all the way. And I was creating if someone needed a zipper fixed for their skirts, if someone needed, maybe shorten it a little bit, I would do that for
of course,
them.
at a fee.
Yeah, I would probably in exchange for, say, tissue or pens or things like that. I knew how to plait as well, so I would, on Saturdays, the line of kuja nikushuke hapa, yeah, that was me. So I would make some few shillings here and there as well, and that's how I think somehow business was at the back point of it for me. By the time I was finishing Form 4 and now going to be with my mom in Mkuru, the only thing she said, by then she had gotten a little bit of money from the government, and she said, the only thing I want you to do is just study. So for me, the only thing I wanted to be was a cabin crew. Like I grew up knowing this is what I want to be. I saw those KQ ladies
looking
just stretching it at Kenya Airways. I was like, that's what I want to do. Joined college, did my course. By the time now I was about to finish, it's 2010 and it's August. And my mom had been sick and she just called me one day and she told me, I want you to grow up. I want you to grow up very fast because at this point, in 3 months' time, I will not be here. And I want you to let me go. Where those words, they ring in your head and you keep asking, like, what do you mean that you want to go and you want me to let you go? She's like, I've done everything for you. I have grown with you. I want you to let me rest. And so this person, stay away from them. This person will help you. This other person. And she started preparing me. And she started preparing me on how to be by myself.
And how old were you at this time?
I was 17.
So you really had to grab
fast. I had not even gotten my ID. I was in school. At that point, I remember I used to do some usher jobs, like this jobs at the supermarket where I'd make like 200, 300 and I'd call her and tell her, Mom, I've gotten a job and come see me. I used to get a job at Lifestyle. That's where I used to be. The Nakumat Lifestyle. Yeah. That's where they used to give me the promotion jobs. So when I'd do my studies, I'd also do that. And she didn't even want me to stay with her in Mkuru. She had booked me out into a hostel and she wanted me away from her to just grow and learn to be by myself. True to it, October came.
And she passed.
And 4 days before she passed, she told me, is there anything that I've never done for you that you don't want me to do? And I told her, you've not done a birthday for me ever since I grew up. She's like, cool. Forced our way to town, got a cake, called my friends, cut the cake, and I went back to school. That weekend before she passed on a Monday, on 11th, a friend called me and told me, she's not doing well, just come back. So I came from the hostel, sat with her. I asked her, Mom, let's go to hospital. She's like, it's okay, we'll go on Monday. It's okay, we'll go on Monday. This is Saturday, Sunday. It's okay. We talk, we have a good time. We'll go tomorrow. Monday came, and that was it. By the time we were actually preparing to take her to hospital, she passed on in my hands. And we took her to hospital. She was pronounced dead. And the journey of being by myself started.
Reality hit.
Oh my God. I'm alone. I'm alone.
So far, you've lost 3 people who are very close to you. Started with your dad. I mean, it's even 4, but it's you are not aware about your biological father.
No.
So now your father has passed away.
Yeah.
Your brother has passed away. Your mom has passed away. You're barely 18. You're still 17, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you get time to grieve each one of them separately?
That's not even a thing. I actually realized that I held on to so much grief and tension in my body that I came to release that when I turned 30.
So 13 years.
Yeah. Yeah. When so many shifts happened in my life at the point where I was turning 30, I was afraid. I had so much tension of being alone, being afraid, and losing people. And I had not actually, like, yes, you cry. Yes, you remember them there. It comes at you and, you release the tears. But actually sitting and just thinking, okay, so I lost this person. This person used to be my person. This person was my pillar. And in fact, grief, there was such a bad saying that I used to use, like, nothing phases me because if it's a bad thing, I'll just push it at the back of my head and, surge forward. And that's how I used to live until all of that came now.
Catches up with you.
Rambling. Yes, it did when I turned 30.
And did that affect your mental health?
It did. I think at one point I was even hospitalized for stress. Like I went to hospital saying I am in so much pain. Like I had a stomachache, which the doctor was saying, no, you don't. You have stress because we are doing all the tests. We are checking what is wrong with you, but your body is just under tension. And if you actually take time, I think they pumped me with drugs to just sleep for like 2 days. Oh. Because this is me. I don't take time.
Always on the move, yeah.
Yes.
And brushing things off.
Just let's do. What has not been done, let's do that one. So that I don't have time to myself to think.
I think they call it,
I had to.
Is it masked grief or procrastinated grief?
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember by the time she passed on, she had briefed me. There are a few people who will be in your life that will really challenge you. And true to it, I think 1 week or 2 weeks in, after she passed on and we had buried her, no one was there. Like even my extended family, they were not there.
At all?
I had to take care of myself. I had to move out of Mkuru. I moved myself out because I thought, okay, so I'm finishing a college and I'll get a job in the aviation world. So there is no way the airline will come pick me up at Mkuru. So let me move. And I moved to Umoja. I remember that was the first place I went to. And I cut off ties with everyone that was in my family at the point because the stories and the rumors that used to come from there were things that, like, one of it was, oh, everyone has left in their family. We're giving her probably 6 months, a year. She'll not be here as well. And so for me, I lived with the fact of, oh, that's what you think. Let
Challenge
me prove
accepted.
you. Yeah. In fact, up to now, I tell people, don't challenge me because I will prove it to you so badly that you'll be wondering, where did I come from?
Yeah.
I have lived with that. And then even changing that because I don't need to prove to anyone anything. I just need to live my life.
Yeah.
But that was the force that was behind me. I'm going to show you that I'm going to live past 6 months. I'm going to show you that my parents' death does not really mean anything. It means that they left me, but I have a legacy to live for them.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you moved to Umoja. At what point did you now get into cabin crew?
Yeah.
Was it hard? Did you have connections?
Hardest thing.
Yeah.
That was the hardest. I didn't have any connection.
Yeah.
And actually, anyone who calls me right now, they're like, help me get a job in the aviation. I'm telling them, there's nothing like help me get a job. I understand connections now look like the thing that can help you sail. At that point, I had only finished, I think I finished my studies in 2011, but I joined aviation in 2012. I had 1 year, and this 1 year, I did all the odd jobs that I could do. And what I would do is anything customer service related, I'd add to my CV. And then in Wilson Airport, there's like 30 airlines. I'd pop in there, shika CV. And everyone was like, hey, Uchoki, next month. Until one airline, I think in October, called me. They're like, we have probably 10 of your CVs here. Just come for this interview.
What?
Yeah, that's how I got a job in aviation. I had no mom, no dad, no one, no grandfather,
connections.
I knew no one. And that lady, I think by the time I was even going for that interview, I was so prepared that there was no you'd have not
given me the job.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to earn. Now this airline, I'm going to the glamorous life where the KQ life is me and I am it. Shock on me.
Ground vitu ni different.
Hapo mwisho kunaandikwa yours faithfully. We were not really signing contracts. You were signing that if you go to a certain place and something happens to you and you pass, well, that's the life you chose. Because that life, the cabin crew life that I got into was flying to Somali, was flying to Congo, was flying to war zone areas. So there's no London, no, there's no Dubai, here we come, no.
Abu Dhabi, honey.
No, none of that. I've had to take myself to those places. The airline industry that I joined, in fact, we call it bush flying. The first flight I did, we went to Dadaab to pick up refugees to bring them to Nairobi so that they get relocated to the US. Yeah. And that's when I was like, okay, I thought this was supposed to be glamorous.
You know? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And the Somali flight that I first did, which was now, because you're checked out by a supervisor and then you have to fly by yourself. I went in there and a bomb exploded at the runway, like at the end of the runway. Yeah. And everyone is running, and now we're like, okay, what is this?
What happens to us?
Dropped?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That was the thrill that I got from that job, and I actually loved it. I don't know if I just enjoy chaos in life or something, but that was such a thrill.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you took me to the Kenya Airways flights now, I would never do it. I feel like there's no joy in that because what I learned in Somali, in Congo, and interactions with those people has grown me 10 times fold than probably what I'd enjoy just,
Going to London and Abu Dhabi.
You've seen the site there.
Yeah.
Then beyond that, do you understand how Somali is such a war zone country, but the way they thrive in business will shock you. The way they live in a community will shock you. And so those are the things that I really enjoyed. And beyond that, the people I carried, I don't think I would have the opportunity. From flying the Prince of UAE to the Prince of Norway to, just amazing high class people that they
you
teach
would not
you
need
a normal because I was a private flight attendant and so also that means you are by yourself, so you make your own decisions. If you make the wrong ones, you own up that mistake very fast, so you also grow very fast. And I think being alone and learning at a young age to be alone, I was able to even maneuver that life so well.
I actually wanted to ask you that. Do you feel like maybe the childhood that you went through, you had to toughen at a very young age, probably shaped you for now your career as a cabin crew?
It did. I look back and it really did. Because by the time I was getting into that space of flying by myself, I was very independent. And you do everything. In that plane, you plan your flight. You buy catering for your passengers. You interact with them. If you go to some other airstrips or places where these guys are going, you're the one who's doing the security search. So if you come inside with someone who has a bomb, well, that is on you.
It's on you.
Yeah. So you do the security. I'm trained on jiu-jitsu in terms of fighting. others that I won't mention, but you're trained to take care of yourself as well. And fitness is also a very big deal there. I think a lot of patience with dealing with different people as well. And remember, I came from Mkuru, so from there, there's also the slang and the sheng and the thing. And you have to 360 turn and
be an English demure girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like you've seen both sides of the coin, the
Yes, I have.
tough and now the
I
sort
have.
of bougie.
Yes, I have.
Now, at what point do you now transition from being a cabin crew to now being a whole CEO of Binty Pads? How did that come about?
I love that. So I've been in the industry for aviation for close to 13 years. And I felt like I had gotten to a ceiling in where I would as a private flight attendant. Beyond that, I could only be a trainer. So I became an aviation trainer and I started onboarding other cabin crews. Now, through going to Somali, I got a lot of insight in how business is there. And so what I would do is I would see us carry avocados or food from Kenya because Somali is it's an area where they can't really grow their own food. And if they do, it's probably watermelons. Or they import a lot of their food. So I felt maybe I come back to Kenya and do farming and then sell that produce to them in Somali. One avocado, to put it in perspective, that you buy here at 30 shillings, you'd sell it there at $2. That's
300 or something.
Yes. In the same way you'd buy it in the UK is probably the same way you'd buy it there. And so I thought this is a good business. Yeah. And so even the small money that I had, one pilot told me, Lorna, you're making so much money. Why don't you then join farming? And that's how I went into farming with my many millions that I had saved and became an agri-preneur. So being in cabin crew, I was that, and then got into farming. I got a piece of land in Nyeri. I put around 1.45 million. I did garlic and watermelon, and I suffered the hugest loss.
Ouch.
All of it. All of it. So now that life prepared me for this other life.
So you decided
I became a farmer. No.
Oh, you still pursued?
Oh my gosh. I don't like being told that can't happen.
You're no.
I will show you it will happen. I didn't do enough research on that. And so by the time I was circling back to see what are the people here growing, I realized they did a lot of French beans. So I went ahead and put my 300,000 back again and said, let's do French beans. And we did. And it started thriving. And this is now 2018. So I got into farming. And then 2019, I lost the money in 2018. Started getting the money in 2019. And now I'm seeing this is the future. So also remember, for me, I had a plan. There's no way I'll be 30 years in aviation. Like I'll need to step out, give opportunities to other people as well. And also maybe at that age, I'd want to have a family or do things like beyond the aviation world. And so I had started way early so that I know that by the time I'm hitting that 30, I have my farming thing that I'm doing on the side. I'm also not an office person that sits and does this. So for me, farming was really a good venture to get into. 2019, I started making some money from the French beans. We used to export the French beans to Europe. And then COVID hit, which is now 2020. And I'm thinking, okay, so Kenyans are not getting food and the planes are being shut down, so we are not transporting food to Europe. Well, what can I do? Feed Kenyans then.
With
so
the same
I decided,
produce,
let me grow cabbages because it's the cheapest thing to start doing and also grow because every Kenyan household probably eats a cabbage. Wow. I had put 600,000 in it. And I knew by the time I sell that cabbage, probably 2020 towards August, I would make so much money because probably even schools would be opened. And then COVID decided to do the thing. And everyone decided to be a farmer. And by the time I was harvesting my produce, a product that would go for 25 shillings at the farm was going for 5 shillings. To put it into perspective again, a cabbage from zero to scratch to end to grow it takes you 10 shillings. So when someone is coming to buy it at your farm at 5 shillings, what are they telling you? Yeah, you're already on loss at the farm.
Yeah.
I was like, no, but we're buying cabbages in Nairobi for 50 shillings. So what I'll do is I'll go look for a lorry, pick those cabbages and bring them to Nairobi and sell. Yeah, I didn't have the market, but I got a mkokoteni guy, put the cabbages there, and we went everywhere. Selling. And I would document all of this online. Like, today we've sold 300. And guys are like, Lorna, you're really struggling. How do we help you? Because I can't send you like 30 shillings. You send the cabbage to Mombasa. And someone said, can I send you 1,000 shillings? And then you just go and donate those cabbages to people. And then that's when I was thrust into the charity space. And I realized, in as much as there's a divide that people can buy the cabbage at 50 or Kenyans became farmers, there's also the ones that were going to bed hungry during COVID. And it was such a huge divide. And I thought, okay, if that's an idea, I could actually go online and ask Kenyans. I had 60,000 cabbages.
60,000?
Yes, and they were all going bad. I had 4 acres and they were all going bad within a month. And I felt, okay, if there's no way I'll sell this fast enough, then let me give it to people. And so I went online, I told people, if you have 30 shillings, spare it, send it to this number. I'll go pick a lorry and take those cabbages, bring them to the people who actually need food. I didn't know what I did, because within that month, we were able to do 45,000 cabbages. Wow. I raised close to 600,000.
Which is the money you had actually put in the business.
Yeah. And Kenyans were there. Go take them to this children's home. Go take them to this slum. Go take them here and here. And it was such a huge, successful project that I remember even one of the children's home that I went to visit in Mweki, the lady patron who takes care of them called me the day before and said, please don't fail. We've not eaten for 2 days. We're waiting for your cabbage.
No way.
And I got to that home and that lady had kids from as young as 1 all the way to grown-ups. And they had no food. That cabbage is what we cut and cooked and ate.
And served them.
And we enjoyed the day. In fact, I have videos of where I'm crying because these kids are so happy that is what warmed my heart. And I said, that's what I'm going to do. Whatever this thing is, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to farm for charity or whatever, but this is what I would want to do. In that, I got a chance to visit different slums and everyone kept asking, do you have clothes? Do you have pads? Do you have anything else? I don't have anything else. I only have these cabbages to give you guys. And by the time I was finishing, I think that time in November, December, I almost got into a depressive mood because I can see the need of people, but on this other end, I don't have anything to help them. And so we sat down with a friend of mine and brainstormed. So then if you're going to business, it has to be something that impacts the charity and society side. And so we said, okay, then let's do pads. It was an idea, but it wasn't cemented until January of 2021, where we saw a video. That friend that I was brainstorming with, her name is Beth. She's now my co-founder at Binty Pads. And she said, Lorna, I've seen a video and I think this is what God is telling us we need to do. And the video was of a young girl who was being molested by the dad for pads.
What?
Yeah. So if that's one story that came out, how many
more do we not know?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, then let's do pads. And if they don't sell, I'll take my mkokoteni again and start hawking them again one by one. And that's how we started Binty. So Binty started in 2020 as an idea. 2021, we registered the company and started looking for products. So where do we start? How do we manufacture? And we were so ambitious. Let's start manufacturing in Kenya. The government was like, really? Do you have this amount of money? Do you have these taxes? Do you have all of this? Okay, back to the drawing board. No, we don't have any of that.
Yeah.
But what we have is we can source for a manufacturer who manufactures for the US and the European market so that we know, first of all, on quality. We are top notch.
Yes.
And so that, because the basis for us was first of all, bring a quality product for an affordable price. Because the people that I was going to serve are going to be those people in Kibera, those people in Mathare, the ones that I donated the cabbages to. Those are the people who needed the pads more. Those were the people. So for me, it was also, those are the same people who get low quality product.
Yes.
For, say, an affordable price. So what is stopping me from giving them a quality product
At a low price.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What has been the greatest milestone for Binty Pads so far that you look at, especially pertaining in charity, that you look at and you're like, yes, this one, yeah, we did the thing.
We have impacted over 400,000 women with our pads since we started. That is a milestone, whether they bought it or they got it for free, because Binty is a sanitary pads company, and then we partner with charity organizations. So those organizations or individuals or CBOs reach out to us, and the idea has always been, we will do extra for you. If it's transportation, we'll give you for free. If it's a peer educator to teach your girls on, menstruation and things like that, we'll go the extra mile for you in the charity space, because we understand what it is that you're trying to do. And at the same time, fundraising every other moment, it's not easy. It's not easy. And when we started, we realized we couldn't start it as a charity because, well, you can't sustain charity without a business aspect of it.
True.
So we started the business, and then whatever proceeds or however we could come in and assist these organizations, that's what we would do. I didn't know what was preparing me for that life of cabin crew to cabbages and farming, and then now starting Binty. Hi, women are a hard nut to crack. Yeah, because pads are such a sensitive thing. You don't just wake up and be like, tumia hii.
Yeah.
Umetoka wapi na hiyo yako? We ni nani? Ati Binty ni nani? Ni nini hiyo? Hatujaisikia. Go do more marketing. Go do more awareness. And that shaped us so much that even on the ground, when we would go to sell to shops and supermarkets and to individuals, we started by walking. If this is a product, we'd open it up and go to each shopkeeper to do awareness and education. Because we realized that's what even lacked the most. I'd come with it in a full pack like this, but I don't know what is in there. Yeah. But if I open that one piece like this and tell you, so this is how Binty looks. This is what we pride ourselves in terms of the cotton feel top sheet. This is how you'd know in terms of the gum itself, if it sticks to your clothes well. This is what would tell you is the material made in there. And this is what absorbs even the blood.
I reckon you'd even have to pour water to show them.
Yeah, we've done that several times in the market. And that's how you put education and awareness in people that this is what a product looks like. Because that shopkeeper then, if someone comes and aulize, uko na hii pad ama uko na hii, aseme sina hiyo but niko na hii,
iko hivi, anasema advantages.
They understand. They understand. The biggest aspect of also what Binty has taught me in that short time has been that we need to do a lot more of education and awareness around menstruation. And I really feel like that's an angle we've really hit as a company.
Has been,
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
So far you have officially been operating for 4 years.
I love that. 2 years. 2 years.
Oh, I'm being ambitious.
It's 2021. The idea started.
Yes.
Started selling in the market in 2022. So 2022, 2023, 2024, 2 years. We are hitting 3 years, April of 2025.
Awesome.
That is a real even saying that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you hoping to have achieved by the time you're celebrating your 5th year?
Wow. That's a very good question. First of all, I had to realize that I have to be in the business and not as part of the business. So I resigned from my cabin crew job and left someone to do that. I got fully into the actual seat and hat of being a CEO. I also realized a company is its people. You may have the greatest product, you may have the best marketing, but behind all of those things is people. It's the people who sell to other people. And for me, 5 years from now, I want the people that I work with to actually be more than where they were. Like if today you probably lived in a house that was, say, 10,000, I want you by 5 years to live in a house that's 20,000. So I want growth for my people.
Yeah.
I want growth for the company. We are currently in 5 counties. So 5 years, I really want to be known in the whole of Kenya.
Yeah.
And even if I can move out of Kenya, that would be amazing. I actually say we created a product for Africa. We didn't just create it for the Kenyan women. The Kenyan women are the trailblazers of it, but I want it to go all across Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. From the cabbage girl to Mishiri to now cabbage to Binty pads. I mean, that is huge. And I see that you're very big on the mark that you leave in people's lives. And so I have to throw this question even as we wrap it up. What is one thing that you always want to be remembered for?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. That I actually gave people opportunities. Yeah. The way my life has been set up, I was given opportunities by strangers. Someone saw me, this young girl who had no job in aviation, and gave me a chance. My pilot saw me. He was a stranger. He told me, get into farming. This is how it's done. Someone saw me, got a chance, gave me an opportunity here, and that's how I am where I am. And so in so many ways, whoever I can impact by giving an opportunity or a chance to thrive or better themselves, that's what I want to be known for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Besides being the fact that, I'm a fast Kenyan woman who has come up with a brand that wants, yes.
Here for it, girl.
Yes.
And congratulations.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Any long distance high five.
Yes.
Keep at it. I love that you just never give up. Like life hits you, unashuka at 3 steps, you panda 5 steps. I mean, I love that. And I'm
There's
just
nowhere
thinking
to go back to.
Yeah.
There's no I'll go back to my mom. There's no that.
There's no fallback.
It's always twende mbele. Umeanguka hapo kidogo, okay, dust yourself, pole pole pole. Umeumia kidogo, wekelea bandage hapo. Twende.
Wow.
I think in my 30s I've become more emotional as well. Like I am so in tune with what my mind and my heart wants. And so everything I do caring. It's a good thing, but also a bad thing when you want to do so many things and so many things hit you in terms of second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
But I really feel like I'm on the right path and I am where I'm supposed to be. Yeah.
One of the things you wrote in your caption was, despite losing your dad, your mom, your brother, you made a promise that you'll always make them proud.
Yeah.
Do you think you've done that?
I think they are proud.
Yeah.
I really
so too.
hope they are proud.
Yeah.
And I really hope that whatever they thought I would become or thought I've surpassed that and more. And I also see a lot of myself in each one of them. I see my young brother in his resilience of who he was. I see my dad who was proper. We are making money and we are doing this. And I see myself and my mom in her kindness and her love. My mom was a people's people. Yani, she was that person for everyone. And so I see a little bit of myself in each one of them. So I do carry them as my legacy as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Love to hear that. I'm thinking of that young girl, maybe back in the slums, or maybe they're still going through that phase of life has dipped all of a sudden.
Yeah.
What would you tell them? I'd like you to look at which camera. We're going to have this camera.
Yeah.
I just want you to speak to that girl who feels like, I'm ready to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
Especially someone who, like you said, have no fallback plan. You have no mom to call, no dad to call. It's just you and yourself.
Yeah.
What do you want to tell that young girl?
Oh man. There's no easy way out. The easy way out is keeping on the journey. The easy way out is continuing on that journey, no matter how hard it is. And I have thought of what I would tell someone who feels like, okay, today is the end of the day and I don't want to leave tomorrow. It may feel like that. And the only thing I would tell you is take a pause and live for the next hours, live for the next day. Because that next day, that's the one thing that something will come up and you'll be like, so what was I stressing about yesterday or a few hours ago? I have learned that life is a series of people being in your life and supporting you. And so don't feel bad when someone offers you a chance. Take it and live your best life on it. Strangers will come. You might be waiting for your mom, your dad, or people to do things for you, but interactions with different people, there are good people out there, and people will always help other people. So find your people, find your niche, and keep on staying on that journey.
I love that. And do not be scared of dreaming.
Yes.
Yeah. I want us to finish how we started.
Yeah.
I have one for you. Please usikue mhash.
Oh, okay. I'll be nice. I'll be nice. I'll be nice. I have a good one.
Oh, let's go.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it difficult or easy for you to admit you've done something wrong? That's a bad question, but
I am going to try be politically correct. Correct. Wacha nikwambie. I'm usually very defensive. Yep. I feel like if I have to explain, let me first before I apologize, I will apologize. But let me first explain why I am right or why I did what I did.
Right.
Maybe if you see my POV.
I'm sorry. If I hurt you, I'm sorry.
My intentions was wrong. But I think I don't struggle. I don't have a hard time apologizing, but I am very defensive. I like to first explain because I feel like I get misunderstood very easily.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I am sorry.
Yeah.
However, let me walk you through what was going through my mind.
This is what I felt.
Yeah. I feel like, let me not just apologize and keep quiet. Let me also speak my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I am the same, and mostly it's because I'm defensive because I don't want you to leave. I don't it stems from, I don't like using the word trauma, but it stems from that.
The childhood traumas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That if I did something wrong, utaniacha, something is going to be, you'll be angry with me. And so I'll first of all be very defensive and like, no. Or, and then now, be like, okay, basi pole.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Si pole bas.
Yeah, but I've learned to change that because what that was doing is I am putting myself in my own shoes, bado. I've not put myself in that
person's shoes.
So
True.
they said I had them. They said I did something wrong to them. Okay, I hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then now if there's a room for explaining,
we create the room. Hata kama there's no room. We create it. But niliona mimi kusema si sorry basi is not a way of apologizing.
That's the wrong one. Yeah.
What is at the top of your bucket list?
Wow. Top of my bucket list they're so simple. This year I said for Lorna, I want to use the word discipline and gratitude.
Oh.
Yeah, those are my 2 words for the year. And so for me, it's just getting back my fitness. I don't want the Malibus and the destination travel. I just want my fitness back. And I feel like that's a thing that I lost as a person. And for Binty, I really wanted to be known a lot more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want the Malibus and the Maldives. I want it. Bring it my way. Yes. That is my bucket list.
If I am fit, I'll enjoy that Malibu. If I'm not, I'll just be in that room like, okay, Malibu.
Yeah.
And then what is that to watch and see? I just want fitness.
Yeah.
I want
nipelekeni Malibu nitakuwa fit huko.
And I'm putting you on test with the gym thing now.
So tumesema the year has already tuweke 2026.
February 2025.
But wacha Q2, I will do the needful.
We'll get somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But thank you so much for gracing my podcast. This has been awesome and long overdue.
Yeah.
But I also feel like this was the right time for whatever reason.
It really was.
I really enjoyed it. And I hope there are people who've watched this and have enjoyed it and loved it. And most importantly, learned something. I always say, if you listen to this podcast and you don't learn something, then I've done you a great disservice. So I hope you've learned something. I hope you have been encouraged. Don't allow your past to define where you need to be. Kiangalia udema tuwesema aliishi Mkuru Kwa Reuben bana.
Kuna mtu aliniambia umetoka Karen wapi niko?
Oh,
I'm heading there, but you know.
Karen, I don't want to discuss my location. Aki, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for gracing my podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. My name is Susan Grace, and I hope to see you in the next episode of A Woman's Journal. Bless up.